morning. My name's Nicole Shute, and I'm with Canterbury School in Greensboro, North Carolina. We are an Episcopal K through 8 school, PK to 8 school, but I run the Summer Science Academy. I'll tell you a little bit about me. Also, I am currently the Curriculum and Assessment Coordinator, new as of this year, but prior to that I taught science at Canterbury School and science and math at other schools previously. But I think more importantly, I have a background in science and then taught at the zoo, taught at nature centers, so I've had a very non-standard and non-traditional entry into classroom teaching. And I think it's always been at the forefront of how I teach, but also how I go about making connections, because a lot of the connections that I've used for the Summer Science Academy, I made before there was even an idea for it. All right, so what is it? It's a project that I've set up with the Joint School of Nanoscience and Nanoengineering in Greensboro, North Carolina. The joint school is actually a joint project between North Carolina A&T and UNCG, and they collaborated and used their resources to create a graduate school of nanoscience and nanoengineering. And so they're already in the collaborative process, and so it was very easy for me to, when I met Dr. Herr, who's on the left in that one picture, he is the president of the engineering side of it. When I met him and we started talking and collaborating about how we could get students more interested and to keep them interested in the sciences, he was the natural person I thought of for this project as well. So what we do is, this is open to any student who is a rising 9th grader going into public high school. So some of our students from Canterbury do go to public high school, so they are able to apply, but as of yet they don't, because it's already things that they've done with me in class. And so the idea of this, the woman who donated the money, she gave us $50,000 seed money to do what we could with this. And what I've done is I've created a 4-year program. The students stay for 1 week. They come for 1 week each summer. The 9th graders come in, and the first thing that they do is they do a project with myself, one grad student, and Dr. Herr doing hydroponics. And they are into they're really jumping into the scientific methodology by then creating their own experiments with their own variables, using some engineering, setting up the hydroponic systems, measuring growth over the week, and then at the end of the week they present to their families and to some of the constituents at the joint school who come in and listen to them. So the students, we're growing as we do this, but we limit it to 14 students because that's what I can put on the bus to drive over. And so in the morning we stay at Canterbury, and in the afternoons we go to the joint school. The second year they came back last summer, so this was we just did our second summer, and they stayed with a grad student for the 9th graders mainly. I worked with the 10th graders and another grad student, and we did 3D design and 3D printing. And so we just tried, I wanted to do something completely different. And then my goal, and I'm hoping that they'll agree to this, my goal for the 3rd years, because the students will be 16, is that they can get into the labs and actually do little mini internships with the different grad students at the joint school. Why? So basically, she heard me talk about science at Canterbury at a board meeting, and I actually don't know who she is, I just happen to know it's a woman, and she wanted that to be available to all students who love science, not just the students who could afford it. And so that's why she gave the money for this. I'm very passionate about taking that interest and enthusiasm in middle school and making sure that that goes through high school. Even though I don't teach high school, we don't have a high school, the students that I have that I see a huge, strong interest and passion for science, I really encourage them as I keep in touch with them and that kind of thing to pursue that. We really notice a huge drop-off in high school with sciences because it's not as engaging, and so this summer opportunity gives them some engaging things to do. In the mornings, I do the hands-on things. This was this is a carbon nanotube. We modeled the carbon atom, and then we kept going to nanoscience and what a carbon tube would look like and how it changes the entire what carbon does at a different level when you're talking about the nano level. So anyway, it's exposing them to things that they would normally not be exposed to. So like I said, it's a week-long academy. Mornings we're at the Science Center, or I'm sorry, Canterbury with science teachers, myself, and grad students. In the afternoon, we go over to the joint school, and Dr. Hearn works with the 9th graders, and then the grad students work with both the 9th and the 10th graders. Told you about the hydroponics and the engineering. So the impact of the program. The first year we did it, I was really worried. I was worried that the kids wouldn't like it. I was worried that we wouldn't get, I actually didn't think we'd get enough kids, that kind of thing. Word of mouth helped a lot. We went to the newspapers, we went to, we put it out on Facebook, we did a lot of things, but the thing that is always a little bit of an issue is that the kids who we're trying to attract aren't the kids who would be looking at anything that said Canterbury School on it. So we're having a little bit of trouble as far as how to get out into the community. And that's one of my focuses for this year coming up, is to get into the schools and actually get into maybe like groups like Girl Scouts and Boy Scouts and other community leaders to kind of get the word out there. Luckily, I had 100% return. All the freshmen who came to me the first year came back the second year, which I felt was really good. I had great feedback. I had them do an end of program survey, and I got a lot of feedback from that. But the best was this one student wrote a letter and talked all about it, and did a letter to the editor and talked about the impact it had on him and his love for science. And then his brother came the following year as a new 9th grader. So our goal for this is really to have students impassioned about science so that they continue in high school and then into college and beyond. They make connections with the grad students, and so we get together once or twice a year. We'll go to the joint school for maybe some sort of presentation. The grad students have to present their projects and things like that, and we'll go over for things. And so we really want them to see how applicable the science is to them and to going forward in their lives and what they can do with it. We also want to keep them in the Greensboro area. Greensboro is growing in the sciences, and Winston-Salem as well, not just the triangle, but the triad is now starting to grow in the sciences. And so we want to keep them in the area and giving back to the community. All right, thank you very much.